Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first video, which is my disclaimer video where I introduce the RC3 technique and some of the thoughts and disclaimers I have around this technique moving forward. This is basically the RC3 of RC3 channel video. So let's say that we've kind of got a way to map out all knowledge. Humans know about 1.5% of all knowledge. Whatever humans can understand when, let's say, all knowledge is explained to them is about another 1.5% that I call lower knowledge. Then all knowledge contains like a very wafer thin layer of knowledge in it, which is the highest knowledge, and the rest of it obviously becomes higher knowledge. So essentially, we divide all knowledge into four levels: human knowledge, lower knowledge, higher knowledge, and highest knowledge. So the first question I have for you is, how much of all knowledge do you think humans know? My model tells me it's 1.5%, but what do you guys think? To comment in the to post your comments. And the second question is, how do you even conceptualize something like all knowledge? I have a model based on which I've done all this, but I'd like your thoughts around how you would solve a problem like this moving forward. Um, so I believe, or my hypothesis is that humans primarily operate in the data and the information space. So there's a framework called DIKW, which is Data Information Knowledge Wisdom. It's a very useful and powerful framework, so I've used it. Um, I believe that knowledge is fundamentally in the lower knowledge zone, which means that humans don't necessarily operate in the knowledge space, and wisdom essentially comes in the higher knowledge zone. I also believe that there are two more levels that DIKW needs to extend to, and we'll all realize this when we move beyond wisdom and move into higher knowledge. But that's maybe a few decades down the line. So this brings us to the second hypothesis. The hypothesis is that humans operate at information intelligence because they've not yet figured out how to convert information into knowledge. Essentially, we are all collecting and gathering and processing information and mistaking ourselves by thinking it is knowledge. So, hypothesis 3, which is what brings us to this channel, is RC3 is the technique which allows us to convert information into knowledge. And this channel is essentially an exploration of this technique. So, question for you guys, what is your definition of knowledge? How do you distinguish between information and knowledge? And coming back to hypothesis 2, am I right in assuming that the conversion from information to knowledge is not clearly understood? And how do you convert information to knowledge? Moving forward, um, I believe that IQ or intelligence is discrete and not continuous. So the intelligence in data is 0 to 40. The intelligence in information is around 80 to 160. And that's the reason humans are kind of stuck in that 80 to 160 range. Intelligence of knowledge is about 250 to 350. And intelligence of wisdom is about 450 to 550. Which means that, first question is intelligence discrete or continuous? And how do you define intelligence? So, what are the implications of this? Um, if the four hypotheses are true, right, the four hypotheses which I've called out, and of course that's a very big if, it depends upon my model and my way of thinking, which could be very different from alternate models. The first big question is, can we raise the average human intelligence all the way up to 350? Because if knowledge is if information and knowledge is discrete, that intelligence is discrete across these levels, Then by teaching human beings how to convert information into knowledge, we automatically make them smarter. And can RC3 be a super efficient technique to teach and to learn? Right? So, can teaching and learning be significantly improved using a technique like RC3? And of course, by improving or making it efficient, we're talking about can it be done faster, can it be done clearer? So, in this channel, I will test the RC3 hypothesis using videos which are titled RC3 of some topic. Basically, I'll build an RC3, show what the RC3 looks like, and then provide the insights that I'm able to see and open it up for feedback. Also, I will create sub of topic videos where I'm testing the learning hypothesis, where I'm using RC3 to teach a topic or a model, and you guys can tell me if it's clearer, easier to understand, etc. Right? So each video will have questions for discussion, debate, and your views in these green boxes. So request is please put in the question number and put your comment. For example, if you think question two is a dumb question, you can just explain why you think it is. And then I've been experimenting with this I mean, after I built the model, been experimenting with it for 5 odd years. Results are mixed. So now I'm just opening it up to the public to see, if there is more that can be done with this. And here is the main disclaimer. In this channel, I'm aiming to provide an RC3 analysis of topics, basically as an exploration of the RC3 channel. What I post as an RC3 analysis may or may not be what I personally have as an opinion. Um, and of course, my aim is education and not just an exploration. I also want to make sure that it can be used constructively. So that is where you will find subject videos, where I have sub of topic as the video title. And I will restrict myself to lower knowledge. I don't want to start introducing higher and highest knowledge to avoid too much confusion. So also unless it's absolutely necessary or relevant, or there's a bit of an insight which might help, I will not introduce any higher or highest knowledge, and I will keep posing questions that seem to come out of the RC3 analysis for comments and feedback. So my primary aim is to use these techniques to see how we can help people live better lives, how they can be made smarter, how they can live better, how they can learn better, and how they can use the knowledge better. My RC3, at least in my experience, is a very powerful technique. So rather than just taking RC3 and using it in one specific area, creating a very limited impact, I'd much rather teach RC3 to, let's say, a billion people or a million people, and they can impact a million areas simultaneously. Making the improvement of life much faster. And of course, if you want to discuss anything individually with me, or explore any programs or anything of the sort, do write in, do send me an email. My email is there in the thank you slide. So here are the questions that we asked in today's session. You can pick up any of them and provide your comments on those in the comment section below. And this is just a closure comment. Right now, I've launched a program called RC3 UPS which is basically student, youth, and life empowerment program. This program is currently live, or I mean, I've done about 3 versions of it so far. In future, I plan to introduce programs for teachers, research, and organizations as well, to extend RC3 to those roles. And then, of course, the entire RC3 theory is based on the foundation programs, which is the knowledge management theory and research, which I've been working on, as well as the highest knowledge program. My contact details are there in the note below. Do send me an email if you had any specific comments you wanted to share with me. Thank you and have a nice day.